So, Baby Doll and I just got done watching episode 1 of the off-season New York Giants Hard Knocks. First of all, so cool to see the Giants on Hard Knocks. Baby Doll will tell you, I was ready to run through a brick wall. I was so excited. Can I just say this before you say anything, Baby Doll? I struggled as a young man thinking about what my dream job would be. Like, you know how like when you were in school, people are like, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do? It never occurred to me, Baby Doll, that maybe I would want to be the general manager for the New York Football Giants. I mean, it never even, the thought process of building, why didn't I ever think of that? Like when I was 18, why didn't I just say, hey, why don't I try to take some kind of pathway into why didn't I think of this, Baby Doll? I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to let you go first, Baby Doll. Tell me so for those that don't know, Baby Doll, even though she's a great camera person, we always watch Hard Knocks together. As long as we have been married, we have always watched Hard Knocks. So this is it. So what did you take away from this episode, Baby Doll? What was something that you liked about this episode? Was anything that grabbed your attention?
I do like that it's more based on the strategy because I don't really, I don't have a big football background. But I did like the strategy part as just compared to the
team building.
Yeah, like compared to the actual football playing.
Something completely different other than how they go about structuring a team together and the options and the choices that they have and something like that.
Yeah, like I know what like free agency is and stuff, but I don't think I really realized what the salary cap was. And like I didn't realize Daniel Jones' salary was 20% of it. So that's interesting.
I guess I'm not doing a good enough job telling you these things. He takes a big piece of the pie. So, anyways, I think some of the things that I took away from it. So, I'm going to go ahead and take a victory lap, Baby Doll. Of course I have to. I mean, I'm the longest running reigning New York Giants. I'm going to get a little hot right now. I'm going to get a little hot. I can't help myself because there was a moment in this episode where you've got Joe Shane, which, by the way, I love that when they're talking about player personnel or team building, there's like a group of individuals. They're not just him. They've got all the guys in there, and they're all he's allowing other people to put input into it. Joe is allowing others to make decisions. He is appreciating what others have to say, and so I really like the team building aspect within that front office team. I loved him saying that even Pat Mahomes wouldn't have succeeded with this team a year ago. That Daniel Jones, he signed Daniel Jones to the 4-year deal. Baby Doll, I have listened to all of these fucking geeks out here. I have listened to all of these so-called, I'm turned up, Baby Doll. I've listened to all of these so-called know-it-alls. These people who have been sitting here getting and accepting super chats left and right say that Daniel Jones had an out after fucking 2. When the man just sat there on HBO and said, we signed him to a 4-year fucking deal. Baby Doll, I've been preaching that. I've been saying it left and right, and these people have been calling me out. How are you going to call the longest running reigning New York Giants channel in the game out? He said it word for word. Literally. And then he even like the Saquon parts of Saquon, which they talked a lot about Saquon. It sounds like we're going to get even juicier in the next couple of episodes with Saquon, but the mileage, Baby Doll, the mileage. There too many. You could see that they're emphasizing. And we really saw that at the end of the episode, where they're explaining like, hey, listen, Saquon, you know, we're transforming our team to make sure that we're building that offensive line, and it's Daniel's. This is up to Daniel. Mm-hmm. This upcoming season is going to be in Daniel's hand. Now we got a little bit of Daniel Jones in that episode. You know, him doing the rehab. I was hopeful that we would get more. I think they'll produce more, but it just seemed like, you know, obviously he's doing his rehab, right? They wanted to make that point across that he's rehabbing. And then we saw a little bit. I thought it was interesting how they had our new defensive coordinator come in there and show everybody how, or show all of them what kind of defense he wants to run. But also, you started to see where the Brian Burns trade possibly happened at the East-West game. And so it got its starting point there, right? And so I find that to be, because I mean, it had been planted in Joe Shane's head, like, hey, we need to get a pass rusher. And so now you see that where the trading blocks potentially started happening there. So I really thought that was interesting, but to sit there and listen to him say what I've been saying, and I'm not insinuating Joe Shane's watching my YouTube channel, baby doll. That's not what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. But to sit here and confirm about what I've been saying about Daniel Jones, he signed the 4-year deal. Mm-hmm. He's getting 4 years. Mm-hmm. To sit there and say, hey, Saquon, it's been a good run, but it was time to move on. You know, and you could see like the stress in Joe Shane's face to me when he talked about talked about Saquon. How the previous year there was a lot of stress. You know, it took 10 years off of his life, and it just seemed like when they were talking about that, I thought it was interesting. And you and I both kind of giggled at this when Mara was in his office talking about. It seemed like Mara was putting a little bit of pressure on him. Hey, we need to get Saquon back. Yeah. But you could see Shane was saying like, well, let's get into week 2 of free agency and see if we can find some value instead. And then Mara was like, I don't know if I would count on that. You know, he kind of I don't want to quote him exactly what he said, but you could see that he was not interested in that. Yeah. He wanted to bring back Saquon, and that's what it felt like to me. But Shane, I think it's interesting because you could see he has a plan. His plan is to basically power up the offensive line, put the emphasis on Daniel Jones, and as you mentioned about the contract, he's getting $40 million per year. It's time for him to step up. He talked about having a healthy Wandale, Bellinger. They brought in Darren Waller's name, but obviously he's been gone. They brought in they talked about Hyatt and Darius Slayton. It's time for Daniel Jones to be the leader of the offense. And so it seems like you could see that Joe Shane was done with Saquon. That his name would come up, but he wasn't fighting hard. He wasn't. Yeah, exactly. He wasn't fighting to keep Saquon. Now maybe we'll see this in a different episode, and you could even see like some of the other one that the other thing I want to talk about is the lead scout, Chris Rosetti, right? I said that right, didn't I? Or no?
No, it's Rosetti.
I'm sorry, Chris Rosetti. You know, I can't say Chris Rosetti. Fascinating dude. I think I gained more respect for him in this episode than anybody. It's almost like he's leading the show. Wouldn't you say? I mean, wouldn't you kind of agree? Like he
kind of reminded me of in Moneyball, the guy that
John. What is what is his name? You're right.
Jonah, is that his name? Yeah, Jonah Hill. That he played his character. Jonah Hill.
No, he's almost like it's almost like he is the guy that is the genius in the room, if you will.
Yeah.
And so I think it's fascinating. He actually has some CFL experience, some Canada football. So I'm curious how well that applies. I'm just wondering if there's some facets that he's learned. But anyways, nevertheless, I thought it was interesting how he was so vocal. But it's almost like him and Shane were on the same page. Like Shane is really like, you can see him like really respecting what he has to say.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, and maybe they didn't show this, I think that he ultimately is the one that made the Saquon Barkley decision. That potentially it's okay to move on from this guy. You know, and brought up interesting points. For example, Singletary ends up getting signed by the Giants. Singletary being the guy that can make that replacement and at a value. He kept talking about value, right, baby doll? He kept talking about the money part of it. And so I think that was really, really interesting. And really, I think he's really impressive. I think Brandon Brown, the assistant general manager, I think he brings a lot of value, and he obviously he made some really good, interesting points as well. It seemed like there were a couple guys in there that were fighting, like you said, baby doll. Mm-hmm. Joe, I don't think was, but you could see some guys wanting to fight for Saquon, wanting to keep Saquon. I don't know if everybody there believes in Daniel Jones. Mm-hmm. I've sensed a little bit of, you know, maybe there's a couple guys that might not be. I don't want to say for sure, but I think the main parties, mm-hmm. Dable, Shane, I think they believe in Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
I think that they're the ones that want to continue this to go forward. Mara, I'm curious as to why he wanted to keep. Maybe from a business decision, he was thinking about Barkley, mm-hmm. but I think that's really interesting. So,
well, he's probably thinking also about popularity of
popular. Well, that's what I'm saying. From a business, from a selling jerseys,
yeah.
You know, people showing up. It's very nerve. Look, I would, if I'm the owner of the team, and I'm losing Saquon, who's probably been one of the leading jersey sale mm-hmm. guys, or one of the more popular guys where fans, kids are showing up wearing Barkley jerseys. I'm a little bit concerned about moving on from that, right? It's mm-hmm. like moving on from your favorite car or something like that. You're a little bit worried about that. But the biggest point for me, baby doll, was Joe Shane talking about Daniel. We got to protect this guy, Pat Mahomes. I've literally been saying that. I can't, like when he said, I said, oh my, like thank you for showing this. Like thank you. Like this is what I've been looking for. They called me ridiculous mm-hmm. and said that Pat Mahomes could overcome this. Mm. A professional in Joe Shane just said that wasn't possible. That wasn't. And so I get called all these different names for supposedly making excuses, and to see this was great. I can't wait for the next episode. I mean, I'm really excited about this next episode, and they keep digging into it. They gave us a little tease about wanting neighbors. So we're going to find out if some of these people who said that Drake May would be the quarterback for the Giants, we're going to find out how real that was. Mm-hmm. Judging from this first episode, it seems like Daniel Jones was the answer from the fucking get-go. So it seems like to me. So any final thoughts, baby doll? Anything that you just want to say? It's fun to share my love for the Giants, not only with you, baby doll, but also on YouTube. So anything else that caught your eye, or just any final thoughts?
No, I mean, I just find it interesting because we don't really get to see them much in like the preseason seasons and like the season. Like we don't get to see the front end, like the front of the house.
You're talking about like the hard knocks.
Yeah, like
we get the training camp and then we get in
training
season.
Camp and then in season.
Well, yeah, this is completely new.
Yeah,
I mean, this is completely new. I love it. I hope that they continue this. I have the last couple of years, I've loved the in-season episodes more than the training camp. Mm-hmm. I like this tonight. This was fun. This was a different aspect to the football, and you realize, you kind of come to figuring out, like, this is a year-round business. I mean, this is a year-round business that they're going. So, anyways, that's episode 1 of Giants Hard Knocks. Baby dog, why are they listening to anybody else when they can listen to Bizzle? I mean, we're literally saying it's almost like baby dog, we know them like the back of our hand. Maybe we got some inside scoop. I don't know. anyways, we'll get episode 2 next week, and can't wait.